Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today we are doing a little bit of an unhaul. First things first, I do not think I'm a pink lipstick girl. I am not a Barbie girl. And number two is, so I'm doing this unhaul, but like I don't know when they're actually gonna get unhauled. And I'm just gonna be honest with you about that. Because usually I would just lie and be like, yeah, I'm gonna unhaul them and then hoard them for like a year. But I'm not gonna do that. I already have a stack of books hidden behind a load of others. But I'm going to quickly just run through my shelves to see if there's anything else that I kind of want to think I want to get rid of. And I was originally planning on doing this unhaul a little earlier in the month because where I bring my books when I unhaul them is a secondhand bookstore, and I usually get a small bit of money for them. Well, the way it works is like, let's say you like bring 10 books, they'll be like, okay, you can have like €12 or in like cash, or you can have 15 in like a book voucher for their like new or old bookstore. I was going up for exams and I didn't want to carry a huge bag of books up with me, so I was like, I ended up leaving it, and I might sometime, you know, go up to have a nosy around the shops during the summer. This shelf, there's nothing because this is my TBR shelf, so there's nothing here that I want to get rid of. So this is all good. I'm obviously not going to get rid of Murderbot. Frederick Bachman can stay. Townsend's Read, she can stay for now, but I have a feeling I'll get rid of them someday. I have a lot of YA books. I might add Kingdom of back to the stack. Like, I love this cover, I think it's really pretty, and I gave the book 4 stars, but it's definitely not one I'm gonna reread. I feel like I'm way more brutal with my YA books than I am with my adult books, but we'll add it for now. And then I also think with The Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, I have The Poetess by Elizabeth Acevedo, but I gave that a 5 stars and I'm keeping that. Whereas Fire on High, I gave it a 4, I think, and I liked it. I think it's a really solid YA, but I'm never gonna reread it. Then we have Chaos Walking. I literally mentioned them in a recent video that I want to reread them, so they're saying. Illuminate, I have a feeling I will never reread them, but I'm gonna hold on to them for another little while. And then I'm gonna keep all of Caitlin Doty's books, and I only literally just bought the Anthropocene Reviewed. It was my favorite book of last year. I'm not gonna get rid of it. Then Sadie, we're keeping. Then we have, This Is How You Lose the Time War, which I know has been going viral on Twitter, but I read it last month and I gave it a 3 stars, so yeah. Then Hank Green. I'm never going to read the sequel, but I like the first book, so I'm keeping it. And then The Lunar Chronicles can stay for now. All of the books that are like behind the books, they're staying, but they're mostly there for like nostalgia reasons. So like, I have like the Stardust series, not by Neil Gaiman, by Linda Chapman. I love those growing up. Also, I realized that I'm messing with the lighting by turning and turning. So, whoops. So we're a little higher now. Fury Born is staying for now because I haven't read the second and third book. They're on my TBR shelf. Witchlands is obviously staying. The Luminaries is also staying. We Have the Flame is also staying for now. We'll see how the second book goes, and that will determine whether it gets on hold. House Moving Castle is staying. Lost Boy and Near the Bone are also staying. And then I'm also keeping all the Rick Riordan. And then up even further, I'm not standing up. I'm very lazy. So we have Rinch Pecco. These are staying for now, but I feel like a lot of them are gonna go by the end of the year maybe, because so The Never Tilting World and the Evercruel Kingdom are staying because they were both 5 stars. I had such a good time with them. The Sacrifice and The Girl from the Well are also staying. Those are really solid YA horrors. Then Wicked As You Wish. I'm keeping all of these books because I want to do a ranking all of Rinch Pecco's books. So there's no point in unhauling them when I want to rank them, because it's really hard to rank books when you have to like push placeholder books in. So I'm probably not going to buy the second and third Wicked As You Wish because I only gave the first one 3 stars, but I will read them for the video. But I'll probably listen to them as audiobooks, but I'll keep the first one until that video is done. And then The Bone Witch, I give the first one 4, the second one a 3, and I have the third one sitting waiting there. So if I give like the third book a 3 stars, I will probably unhaul them when the time comes. But if I give the third book a 4 stars, I'll keep them for another little while. I don't know about Elizabeth Lim. I mean, I'm definitely keeping Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dust because I love the American covers. But I liked Six Crimson Craze. It was one of my most surprising reads of last year. I gave it a 4 stars. Like, I can just get like the ebook or the audiobook for the second book, because like I will probably continue, but I don't think I need to own it. But then I'm like, will I do a ranking all of Elizabeth Lim's books when she has more books out? So I might keep her for now. And then up. I have all of Cassandra Clare and she's staying. These are alphabetical order, so we'll start down here. Joe Abercrombie, he's staying for now, but he's on thin ice because I give the second book 3 stars. It depends how the last book will go again, whether that will stay or go. Then Baron the Nightingale, that trilogy staying. I gave them all 5 stars. Natural History of Dragons, I literally just finished this yesterday. No, 2 days ago. And I gave it a 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. It's not a book that I'm like gonna rush to continue the series, but I will eventually. And she is actually one of the co-authors of Mask of Mirrors and The Liar's Knot, which I love that series. Well, I liked the first book. I loved the second book. We're obviously keeping the David Bat trilogy. Neil Gaiman. Okay, Stardust is definitely staying. Neverwhere I'm gonna keep for now because I gave it 4 stars. But like Neverwhere is like one where I'm like, one day when like this shelf gets filled up and all the other shelves get filled up, like Neverwhere, like despite the fact it's a 4 star, I have a feeling it will go one day, but today is not the day. Good Omens is the same. Like I liked the TV show and I liked the book. I gave it 4 stars, but like it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. And then Ocean at the End of the Lane, again another 4 stars, but this one has really pretty illustrations, so I'm probably not gonna get rid of it anytime soon. Then Shadow of What Was Lost, I'm gonna keep these for now. I want to reread them and it kind of depends on what happens when I reread them, whether I'll keep them or not. But I'm not going to reread them for like another year or 2, so they're here to stay for a while. And then 5th season is going to stay for now. Again, another author that I would actually like to do a ranking all of her books, but these are the only ones I currently own. We have The Poppy War, that's staying for now. Again, that's another series, so I gave them all 4 stars, and I'm like, one day when like all of my shelf is full, those can go, but like because they're also 4 stars and I have positive feelings about them, they're staying for now. Rune of Kings, obviously staying. Favorite series. Gods of Jane Shadow. I actually quite like that book. It was a bit of a surprise, but I did quite enjoy it. All of Name Novik is staying. Then we move down to Brandon Sanderson. They're all staying for now, but I'm not gonna lie, one day I can see myself getting rid of a load of them. Then Samantha Shannon, I'm getting the 2nd book for my birthday. Wolf of Oren Yarrow, that can go. And Ninth Ring, that can stay. And The Collarbound can stay. And then this is all Vicky Schwab. Ooh, now this is the one. See, I gave this a 3 star and I kind of go by the rule that like I get rid of 3 stars unless like they're in like a 4 or 5 star series. And Legends and Lashes was a 3 star, but Lizzie got it for me for Christmas and I'm nostalgic like that. I'm gonna keep it on my shelf for now because as I said, it's gonna be a while before I actually unhaul the books, so I'll think about it. I mean, I'm definitely gonna like keep the gift note and everything, but like I'm not sure if I can get rid of it. And then the bottom 2 shelves are all V. Schwab and Robin Hobb, and obviously they're not going anywhere, so. I've now rooted out all the books, and actually there's way more than I thought there was. Okay, I have 24 books here, so obviously we're not gonna go too much into detail, and a lot of them are series, so we'll just quickly go through them. First, we have the Scythe trilogy, so Scythe, Thunderhound, and the Toll. I say often, dystopian, utopian, whatever. It's not my favorite genre. I liked these. I gave the first one a 4 and then the second and third one a 3 stars. And there's no point in me keeping them on shelves. I'm never going to read them. I barely even think of them. Scythe is set in a utopian world and there's 2 teenagers and they get picked to be apprentice scythes. And scythes go around and basically kill each other because this world has basically gotten rid of like every bad problem in the world. But now there's a problem of overpopulation, so scythes have to go around and kill people. Then I have the Henna Wars, and I really like this. I think it's a really sweet YA of those 2 girls who they're doing their TY business project on doing henna, and they're kind of have a bit of a rivalry about this, and then they obviously end up, you know, falling in love. So it's just one that I'm never going to reread. I did enjoy it at the time and it was a really quick and fun read, but it's just not something that I'm going to think about, pick up again. So that's book number 4. So then book number 5 is going to be To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. Again, another one I gave 4 stars at the time, but it's a YA fantasy that I have mostly grown out of, and I never think about this book. If you are still reading a lot of YA fantasy, I do think that this is solid. It's a bit of a Little Mermaid retelling. So we follow a siren and she gets turned into a human, and then we follow a prince who's a siren hunter, and then obviously there's a bit of a romance between them. And yeah, you know what, thinking about it, I did really enjoy this. It was a good fun time, but as I said, if it's not like directly staring at me, I'm not going to remember it. Go with another series, that is the Renegade series by Marissa Meyer. So the first book is Renegades, the second one is Arch Enemies, and the third one is Supernova. And this is a series that when I read it at the time, I gave the first ones 4 and 5 stars. I think 5 and 4. I can't 100% remember, but I really love them. It follows a world where there's people with superpowers, and you can like audition to become one of the renegades. We follow Nova, who is actually part of the villains, and so she ends up infiltrating to basically spy on them. I hated how this book ended. I think on Goodreads I have it as a 3, but it is absolutely a 1 star. I hate how this book ended. It is such a cop-out, and like I know it is a YA, but like teenagers can understand some complex discussions, and the way that this book ended, it was so stupid. It was so stupid. With The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I was considering keeping this because I was like, oh, maybe I'll do you know, ranking Patrick Ness, but he has so many books and a lot of them just don't really interest me. So I'm like, it's not really gonna happen. So this one is following just, again, kind of like a bit of a superhero book, but this follows just normal people. And so you just, at the start of chapters, you just get like in italics, you get like what the like heroes are doing, and then the rest of the story just follows our main character and his friends doing very boring mundane things. It's very much, it's like a mix of like obviously like kind of superhero sci-fi and then just very much just YA contemporary trying to make their way through their final year of school. So like it's very entertaining like that, but I didn't really love a lot of the parts of the book, and I've honestly forgotten most of it, and I gave it a 3 stars at the time. Next one is going to be Spellslinger by Sebastian D. Castell. If I do continue this series, because like I am tempted to, because I've heard great things about like further books in the series, if I do continue, I think I'll just listen to the audiobooks. I've heard really good things about them. I just don't really feel the need to buy all of these books because I don't think it's going to be a favorite series. I give the first book 3 stars. It follows Kel, and he is supposed to be undergoing these trials, but he doesn't have magic, and so then he's trying to figure out a way to trick everyone into thinking that he does. It didn't really work for me, and I have read Traitor's Blade, and I have the entire Great Coat series, and that works a lot better for me. The Trilogy series, or at least the core trilogy by Maureen Johnson, I have no intention of ever continuing this series. I really liked, I gave them all 4 or 5 stars. I really liked the mystery trilogy. And then she just kept bringing out more, and I have no intention of continuing them. And so I kind of like, if I'm not going to continue them, why do I bother having these on my shelf? It follows Stevie Bell, and she is like obsessed with this mystery in this old academy, and so she gets invited there, and she obviously wants to discover the truth of what happened. And the whole trilogy follows that mystery, and I think now there's a 4th and 5th book that follow like separate mysteries. And also I would like to point out, look at the page color difference between them. Whoops. The next ones I'm not going to talk about these really because I talked about them in my previous Unhaul and then I didn't end up getting rid of them, and that's Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda and Leon the Offbeat. And that's because the bookstore was like, oh, we already have so many copies of these that we are not taking anymore. So I'm hoping that this time maybe I might actually be able to get rid of them, but if not, I might just give them to a charity shop or something. I liked Simon vs. I didn't love it. I think I gave it 3 or 4. Leon the Offbeat, I hate this book with a burning passion. Also think I mentioned in that one, Unfiltered by Lily Collins. Again, I'm not sure. Why didn't I give this one in? Yeah, it's her memoir. It was good. I read it like 4 or 5 years ago though, so I can't remember it, and I'm gonna reread it. Again, I think I might have mentioned it in that last Unhaul, Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. And oh yeah, I think at the time they weren't taking hardbacks, but I think now they do take hardbacks, so that's why those 2 weren't. So I'm gonna try again. And again, if not, I'll just give it a charity shop. So yeah, I've read this entire series. I gave the first one a 4.5 back when I used to give 0.5 stars. I gave this one I think a 2, and then I gave the third book a 3. Yeah, I just don't really care, to be honest. Last ones that were in the pile were the Tide Child trilogy by R.J. Barker, which we all know my feelings on this. So these were the very first picks for Cassidy's Backlist Book Club, which I'm obviously a co-host of, and it set the tone for the entire book club. We don't read books we like in that book club, okay? I gave the first one a generous 3 stars, the second one a 2 stars on Goodreads, but I then bumped it down to a 1 star, and then it was like my least favorite book of last year. And then I started this one, got 50 pages in, and gave up. I don't DNF books. I so very rarely DNF books. I have never gotten rid of a book that I have not read, that I have spent, like, I paid full price for this book and I can't bring myself to read it. Like, no. So I'm getting rid of this. It follows, like, honestly, who knows what the plot of it is. It follows Bone Chips. A guy is a captain, then he gets booted by a woman and she takes over, but she kind of like is like nearly a mentor to our main character. And yeah, I don't care. Just quickly go through the books that I took off the shelves while I was talking to you. So we have The Wolf of Oran Yarrow. I gave this a 3 stars. It was like, I thought it was an intriguing debut, and like, but it was definitely, you could definitely see some weaknesses in the writing, and I was willing to just be like, oh, it's because it's a debut, and I was thinking of continuing the series, but now I'm not so sure. I might, but if I do continue, I don't think I care enough to own the physical copies. This is How You Lose Time War. I read this last month. I gave it a 3 stars. Honestly, it's been going viral. It was okay. I didn't actually feel any connection between the characters, and like a huge portion of this is the fact that like there's some sort of like romantic connections between them. I didn't see it, I didn't feel it, and I just didn't care that much about the plot, so it can go. And with The Fire and High, as I've already talked about this, as I said, I did enjoy it. I think it's a really solid YA contemporary, and I want to read more Elizabeth Acevedo. I think she's coming out with her first adult novel this year, and I'll definitely like, I might try that. But it's just like, I don't really read YA contemporary, so I don't need to have this. And then Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. So this follows Mozart's sister, and she was also, like, in real life, she was obviously a person, and she was a musical prodigy like her brother. But obviously she was a woman, so all of that, bye-bye, as soon as she became marrying age. And so this follows her as she's like growing up, and they're being brought around the place to play music for all of these like royalty and all of this. And then like as her time to stop and get married is coming closer, it starts to kind of delve into a bit more magical, and there's this person who's saying that give her everything, but the cost is really high, and so that's what the story is about. And I did enjoy it, but I'm never gonna reread it. Those are all of the books that I want to unhaul. As I said, it'll probably be another month or two before I actually get around to unhauling them, but they will go eventually. So yeah, and now I have a small bit more space on my shelves. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.